Good morning, friends. The most respected principal of the college, Adis Engineering College, Kambam. The most respected organizers, Sushila Madam, HOD of BBA department, and all the faculty members of the college, and my dear participants. A very, very pleasant and joyful morning to each and every one of you. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this webinar entitled Free and Open Access E-Resources for Teaching, Learning, and Research. Let me start the presentation. Yes, here goes. And dear friends, in this generation, in this century, we talk about the influence and the penetration of E. Wherever you go, E follows us, whether it is EB payment or the payment of taxes or the payment of tuition fees or the transfer of amount from one person to another person or transfer of content from one person to another person. Wherever e-commerce, e-retailing, e-marketing, e-learning, e-selling and whatnot. So we are in the e-world. We are in the world of a mouse click away. And what happens? What kind of effect this kind of environment has got on the teachers, on the learners, on the researchers? Long back, we used to manage the information using desktop, but nowadays we have a laptop and very handy smartphones with us. And what about the resources we make use of? Once upon a time, we were confined ourselves only to traditional and print resources. Now we have umpteen number of e-resources. And we make use of all these resources either for your classroom transactions, to learn and improve your knowledge, or to prepare your assignments, projects, or for some seminar paper preparation, or to conduct some workshops, or to organize your club meetings, or to carry out your research work. So for each and everything, we just go to Google, we just go to online resources, and we resort to e-resources rather than print resources many times. And what are these e-resources? Simply, e-resources are those resources which are available in the digital form, which are available in the electronic form, that can be accessed using an electronic device like computer. One is the materials are available in digital form, and secondly, to access those digital electronic files, you need some electronic devices. Fine. For example, you have electronic books, electronic journals, e-proceedings, e-patterns, e-standards, and the list is limitless. And whereas form is concerned, we have electronic resources in many formats, maybe in video file, maybe in HTML file, or maybe HTML files, or ASP files, and many more. So, this is a time for us to make use of electronic resources. And where are they available? So basically two categories of resources. One is free and open access resources, which are available free of cost to everybody. And there is another thing called a commercial or paid e-resources. See, unless otherwise you make payment, you may not be able to access those resources. So basically two categories of resources are there. And the third one called open educational resources, once again they become a part and parcel of open access resources. Fine. Then what are these open access resources? The resources which are available, which are released under a open license, so that anybody would be able to access these digital contents and they be able to make use of these digital contents. Basically two kinds of open access paths are available. One is a green path, another is a gold path. What is a green path? So you are an author, you have prepared a paper. Before your paper is accepted by the publisher, whatever the preprint, whatever the earlier, before published version of your paper, those papers can be archived, can be deposited in the institutional repository of your institution. So that kind of archiving is known as green open access. Now what about gold open access? This is a very popular model wherein the open access journals ask the authors to pay a specific amount towards article processing charges, and they make your paper freely available online in their journal website. So that kind of access called as gold open access. Fine. Now what about this OER? See, OER also open access resources, but they are special resources in the sense they're exclusively meant for teaching, learning, and research resources. And they are available in the public domain, or they are free to use and they're free to repurpose. So we talk about repurposing here, which makes open educational resources differ from open access resources. As far as OER concerned, you can take these resources, you can use them as such. Or if you want to make any modification in them, you can make modification in them and you can use it. Fine. And if you want to take 2 or 3 open education resources, you have to take modification in all the resources. You want to combine them, you want to merge them, you want to use it as a resource, you can use it. Okay. If you want to distribute the original version, you can do it. If you want to distribute the mixed version, the version which you have altered, you can distribute it. So this kind of redistribution, this kind of reusing, all these things are possible in the case of open education resources. Fine. Now what we are going to do in today's session is that I'm just going to give you a screenshot of various websites from where you can access the so-called free resources, the so-called open access resources, and the so-called open educational resources. Fine. 1 minute.